Hello and welcome to 2019. This is our first Wednesday Wisdom installment for the new year. So hopefully you all had a great holiday time, whether you celebrate Christmas holiday and New Year's holiday or not. Hopefully you had some time off from work or just had a chance to get together with family or watch a lot of football or whatever the case may be. I hope you had an enjoyable end of the year celebration. And now we are smack dab almost in the middle of January already. Can you believe that? Well, actually, we are in the middle of January. So it's amazing how fast the time is going. And so this week, I just want to share, and for those of you who are looking at this for the first time, this is my weekly videos Sidebarred, and Sidebarred is my monthly newsletter. So these are many little lessons learned, if you will. And so I wanted to share with you, the topic today is, if not now, then when? And that comes from just a recent experience I had meeting with a client not too long ago. And unfortunately, he was meeting with me to probate his brother's estate. His brother has passed away in his early 50s. And since I'm in my early 50s, I think that's very young to pass away. So, and he passed away without a will. So we had that discussion of, other potential heirs, if there are children. He didn't have a spouse, but he, might have a girlfriend who might have some claim to something. Don't know about insurance policies, don't know about other potential properties. So there's a lot going on there. But after the discussion about the brother's estate, as we were kind of finishing up and wrapping up things for that particular meeting, I asked my client, well, what about you? Do you have your estate plan in place or at least have a will? Of course, the answer was no. I'm not ready for that yet. Okay, so I didn't make a face like I just made, thankfully. But I just asked him, well, when do you think you will be ready? Because when it's time that it's needed, you won't be here to make that decision. So when do you think you can start the planning process? It's just putting together a plan. And then he proceeded to tell me that his significant other, his girlfriend, his non-spouse, but his partner was trying to tell him to kind of do the same thing and update his life insurance policy and write a will and things like that. And he called her crazy for wanting to talk about that stuff. I'm here to tell you that's not crazy. And I told him, well, she's on the right track. You need to get on board with what she's talking about. And the unfortunate thing is we do think we have forever when we feel relatively young. And I do say relatively, some days are better than others, but we feel like we do have time to get that stuff together. And unfortunately, that's not always the case. And I'm sure a lot of you have experienced losses, unexpected loss of loved ones. In fact, I started off the year, the first weekend of the month here, welcoming in the new year, going to a funeral of a 44-year-old. So I just share that with you to say tomorrow is not promised. I know I've said this before, and I don't want to sound preachy or anything, but this is just me providing counsel to you that you need to do it sooner versus later. You don't want to wait until such time that you're not, you don't have, the fullest capacity to think things through. You don't want to wait until you're in the hospital and all medicated up. You don't want to wait until you start losing your memory involuntarily, thinking through things or not thinking through things. You don't want to wait until you're incapacitated or just totally disabled or having to rely on someone else for everything. At that point, it may not be a valid document that you put together or want to put together. So you don't want to put that off. So I'm just doing what I'm doing and telling you not to wait. There's no time like the present. And hopefully, if you don't already have an estate planning attorney in your network of professional advisors, I would hope you would consider me. But even if you don't come to my firm, once again, I'm not trying to sell you anything right now other than get it done. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.